All right, guys. Under the Arch Sports, I'm Eric Hobbs. Mizzou with a 27-21 win over Boston College. Going to recap that, but first, please, guys, find us on all the social media, YouTube, subscribe, like, follow, all the things. Leave us a comment what you thought about this game. Facebook, Instagram, X, and Spotify. Again, 27-21 winner for the Tigers in a game that was sloppy. Not a clean game. Missouri did not play an A game. And, you know, it was one where they had to rally. They faced their first adversity of the season. And some of that was self inflicted. And I feel like that's where you have to start with this game. Missouri, 8 penalties for 91 yards. And they really impacted the game. Look at the very first drive of the game. Boston College was going to have fourth down. Chris McClellan called for illegal hands to the face, extended the drive. Boston College hadn't even made it to midfield yet. They extended that drive beyond that, got themselves touchdown, took the lead early. And then, it's not effort plays like a holding. Credit the offense, the offensive line. I don't recall I don't know if there was a holding call, and that was the big problem last week. So that's good, but there was a lot of discipline type penalties, and you can't have that if you're trying to be a championship type team. Luther Burden loss is cool. I don't care what another player does. You don't yank dude's mouth guard off his helmet and chuck it. Even if he did the exact same thing to you, you don't do it back. It's the second guy who gets caught. And that's what happened there. 3 plays later, whatever it was, he had called for unnecessary roughness. Really, he kind of threw the ball at the player. I think as he was doing it, he realized it was a dumb idea and he tried to catch it. He's lucky he didn't get thrown out of the game. I don't know how that's unnecessary roughness. Let's face it, that is unsportsmanlike conduct. Maybe they're doing him a favor because they saw he did try to catch it and pull it back, but it was too late. I don't know. Either way, Luther Burden was that close to getting kicked out of the game because he was losing his composure. And you can't do that when you're Luther Burden for Missouri. You can't do that. You know, that was a crazy sequence. Missouri had 3rd and 2, and then there was a garbage block in the back or blindside block. That was a terrible call. Instead of being way down the football field, Missouri 2nd and 59, which I've never seen that in my life. I can think of one other time that there was a play, some small Mac or Sunbelt comp, somebody had like 3rd and goal from their own 20-yard line or something. That's the only thing I can think of I've ever seen that's worse. But that was due to a crazy fumble, not because of penalties. 2nd and 59 just because of penalties. That's crazy. But here we are. That's this team. Honestly, it's something you gotta, you have no choice, I think, but to consider it a trend. The regular season is a quarter of the way over, and Missouri is doing this game in and game out, having lots of penalties one way or the other. So Missouri's going to have to watch that going forward. Shout out to the defensive staff, Corey Batoon, for the game plan, attacking Boston College, their offense, Thomas Castellanos. It was a great plan when it was executed properly. He's so elusive. They said, all right, we are going to do our best to just make a pocket and dare you to beat us. That was clearly the plan. You saw after this first drive, to me, it looked like the first drive, Missouri was settling in and really getting a feel for what kind of player Castellanos was, how fast he was. They should have been off the field, as I discussed. But they really settled in after, and they get maybe a yard into the backfield and then just kind of form that pocket. So fans probably were frustrated. You want to see sacks, lots of pressure. Well, this is a guy where you don't want that because he's good enough. He's going to make plays. And Missouri said, no, we're not going to let you. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. And he threw two interceptions. And he couldn't do it. So it was great for Missouri. Castellanos running crazy in the first two games, at least when he was playing that Duquesne game. Today, Saturday's game, he finished 13 carries, 16 yards. That's it. He had 248 yards passing, but 105 of that was on two busted plays. Marvin Burks involved with both of those. That kind of ties into the whole issue of penalties. It's discipline. On that first one with the fumble, the secondary, Burks and everybody else just saw the ball on the ground and crashed. And Castellanos just picked the ball up, and he literally had to choose which guy am I going to throw a wide open touchdown pass to. You got to have better discipline than that. Let your line and your linebackers get the ball. You're in the secondary. You're not going to be the first one there. So a couple of plays kind of really hurt Missouri. And there was a sense of frustration after those plays, especially that second touchdown to make it 14-3. There was a lot of frustration on the football field from the players. To me, I felt like I could feel it coming through the TV from the fans. And I think it impacted Brady Cook's game. That's going to be a big point of discussion, I'm sure, is some of his missed throws. The one that sticks out as feeling the pressure of, oh my gosh, we're down 14-3. This is supposed to be our magical run. It cannot end in September. No way. And feeling that kind of pressure. Brady Cook rolled out to his right on a third down, had 10 yards, had the first down yardage right in front of him, but he threw it to Mookie Cooper. And to be fair, he was open. But he was running right, threw the ball back across his body, and Mookie Cooper wide open standing there. He just missed him. And Missouri had to kick field goal. Plays like that, you have to have poise. Maybe that's something where going forward, Missouri, having faced adversity now, will be better suited to, keep that poise, keep executing at the level they need to. We'll see. Part of the reason they got back into this game was Luther Burden. I talked about kind of the brain dead penalties that he had and lack of discipline, all that. But 6 catches, 117 yards and a touchdown, and they needed him. The first quarter, he didn't touch the ball. And you saw kind of how the game was going. As soon as he got involved in the offense, things picked up for Missouri. The game turned. That's when Missouri scored 24 straight points. So, yeah, welcome to 2024. First time Luther Burden had a Luther Burden kind of game. Also, a shout out to Nate Noel. This was the first time, and we wondered if this would be one where the running back situation truly was a rotation, if it would be more of a hot hand. This was a little bit more of a hot hand situation with Nate Noel. They could not stop that stretch play. And honestly, it's the same play that Missouri was lethal with Cody Schrader last year. And especially off the left side, just like last year. And Noel had a great game, 22 carries, 121 yards. So that play, Boston College couldn't stop it. And then Marcus Carroll came in when they needed the power in between the tackles, short yardage. Running the ball, the offensive line just abused Boston College for the most part. I can think of one play where they tried to run the ball and they lost yards all day. Against top 25 team in Boston College, you take that every time. I think the bottom line here is Missouri won. So they're still undefeated. They still are the same record you would have hoped for when the season started. They finally faced adversity for the first time. They faced frustration and they had the composure, the talent, the wherewithal to really take control of the game. And when they had their heads on straight, yeah, they rattled off 24 straight points. In the third quarter, Boston College had like 19 yards of offense or something like that. As they got desperate and had to really throw down the football field, I think Missouri thought the game was in hand and they blew the coverage. Boston College got right back in it. Before that, they were doing nothing on offense. The defense was close to dominant. 49 yards rushing against this Boston College team is fabulous. There are not going to be very many teams, if any, that come close to that performance the rest of the season. And, Missouri winning, obviously, a top 25 win. They'll fall out of the top 25 from 24. They'll fall out. With their schedule, I feel like they're probably going to be back and spend a lot of time in the top 25. If not, they'll be close. This Boston College team, I think, is going to win at least 8 games, probably more like 9 or 10. They're a good team. Bill O'Brien, heck of a coach. Boston College is going to be a problem in the ACC going forward. Missouri beat them, handled them for extended periods of the game, playing a C game. As I said at the very beginning, it was not an A performance. Between the penalties, between the mental lapses in the secondary, Cook missing some throws, all that stuff happened, and they got themselves a top 25 win. That is a good sign. If this team does figure out how to play their A game, look out. Next opportunity is opening SEC play once again at home. Vandy coming to Columbia. We'll see what happens there. We're going to preview it. We'll try to have that out to you on Wednesday. Until then, keep tuned here under the Art Sports. Thanks for watching.